Yeah, we have our first podcast guest, man. First,
We got it. I'm a
I'm the
guest.
host. You're the guest,
My name
Mister.
is Vicious 5150. As Matt Crew from Port Coquitlam, Vicious, Columbia. Thank you
Will
very much
Lang.
for having me on, Jamin and Garrett.
Good to
Your
have
real name
you.
is Will Lang, though, isn't it?
It sure is, buddy. It sure is. If
Yes.
we're if we're keeping it real, Garrett.
Keeping it metal. You're a possessed motherfucker. I see your post. You're like out there crushing it. You're relentless. You're wrapping
Yeah,
it up.
yeah.
Busy,
That's
busy,
Everybody's
great.
doing the
busy.
same thing, man.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah. First off, tell us a little bit about the journey. I mean, you've been at it for well over a decade. So,
A lot longer than that actually. Since I was like a teenager in the late '90s, I started writing raps and stuff like that. So like, I've just always wanted to do. I started recording in like the early 2000s though, and then I guess like fast forward about 10 years after that is about when I started working with you, Jamin.
yeah, Mr. Siso.
Definitely. A Dreamcatcher is still my jam, man. Like me and Fano were bumping that a little while ago. Fucking like I watch that video every so often because it's just that was one of my favorite videos we've ever done.
That was fun. And then just down around the wharf and yeah, just iconic. So, yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Fucking it was just amazing. Amazing little piece of history.
Good times, Mr. Siso. And yeah,
Yeah.
going over to the island, doing the hangover tours and
Oh,
Yeah,
the
you guys
fucking
used to
island
party
tour.
pretty hard. I get back in the day. Yeah,
oh,
Oh, what, me? I used to party pretty hard or fucking both of us? Yeah, and
all you
yeah.
guys.
Yes. Yes,
I
indeed.
I definitely recall having to go over there as sort of brand ambassadors of the Rapis and Hazmat crew and needing
Yeah.
to or us feeling we needed to just drink heavily as part of that representation.
We did, let's be honest here. Come on.
And oh yes, yeah, that was one of the sloppier shows that night at Canby, I must say.
It can be, yeah, yeah. It was the damn people going out to the smoking section. It wasn't us.
I
There's
just
too much
remember having my
smoking.
my beer and RC the Hazard had put an ice cream cone on the neck of my beer and I was trying to balance that while I had the microphone in my other hand. So I'm doing my verse, balancing this ice cream
I
cone.
remember all this.
It was good times.
Oh God, I remember all that shit. That was great. Was that what the one where fucking Todd broke his shoulder and then I started leaning on it like an asshole during the show? He's like,
Yeah.
"Ah!"
He bailed
Todd
on his
Sever.
long,
Todd.
yeah, he bailed on his longboard and like just, we
I
thought he
hope he
ran
doesn't
it
mind
out.
us
He didn't run
mentioning
it
this.
out. He fell on his shoulder, broke it. We
I
did
felt
the sh
terrible for him.
we did the show that night and we were still doing this thing where we did a song where everybody kind of falls over after they did their verse and he did his and just fell right down on his shoulder. Like, oh
And
man.
broke it.
Yeah, he had broke it and then he fell on his broken shoulder and we tried to get him to go to a clinic and he hid inside the building for what he felt like was long enough and then came out and said, "No, I'm fine."
And that's alcohol induced, I'm assuming.
No, that wasn't no, that was during the day.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
Holy.
yeah, that was not. Yeah, despite all the alcohol that weekend. Yeah,
Yeah, no, that wasn't an alcohol induced thing. It was just a freak accident.
it really was. Yeah. But
You
Fucking
guys had a
well,
lot
yeah,
of fun back
he
in the day.
soldiered through. He soldiered the fuck through though.
he really did.
As we all did. We all had his back though.
And I apologize. We're talking about Todd Seven, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he went by
Yeah.
Mr. Stabby.
Mr.
Yeah.
Stabby. That's a good one. Actually, that's a good Mr. Stabby. That's a pretty good rap
Yeah,
name.
he was awesome. He was awesome. I loved his rap style. He had a whole fucking aesthetic. He was so
Shout
dope.
out to Todd for sure.
Fuck
He's
yeah,
he's
fuck yeah.
he's doing okay. I'm hoping. Yeah, he's still
Oh
crushing
yeah.
it.
Yeah, he comes by. He's doing good, and which is
Yeah,
good.
that's
Local
right. He
Maple
came
Ridge
with you guys.
people.
Yeah, he came with you guys to the fucking Hoover celebration of life. That's right.
Yes, and
Yeah, it was really nice to see you guys.
I wanted to mention that show as well because like I
Magic.
found it an interesting environment, because like you're sober, and even like some of the people I had gone with, like they're sober, and that was a
Yeah.
very smoky environment. Like as soon
Oh
as
fuck yeah.
Oh
the set
yeah,
kicked in.
Jamin was
Oh, if
telling
I
me
still
about
smoke the
this.
good stuff, man, you got to do that.
So, but I
In
found
my
that
opinion,
interesting, right? Like it was very smoky to the point where there was people outside like I can't go in. It's
there
it's
was so much. It was everywhere. But that's how Hoover would have wanted it, though.
Oh yeah. Oh no, it
I
was
would have had
awesome.
it happening. Like, so he was there.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, that was great, and it was good to see you there. Yeah, I
Oh,
mean, yeah.
likewise.
But yeah, what I wanted to mention is, so I mean, we go back, we did a lot of drunken shows and everything, but you are now sober from alcohol, right?
Yeah.
You've been sober
Ah.
for how long?
About 4 years almost.
Oh wow, I thought it was 2.
No, I quit in October of 2020.
See, wow,
Okay.
that's impressive.
So
So,
why? What
Well,
here's two questions. Here's two questions for
sure,
you, because I got a couple,
sure.
because this whole brand of ours is based on, largely in recovery and what that looks like, there's no one way to get sober. We like, there's all sorts of different ways, right? And that's what we want to embrace. And then once you get sober, what keeps you possessed, what keeps you passionate, what keeps you engaged, right? What's your purpose, right? Because I think that's what addiction does. It's a lack of connection.
Oh,
Johan Hari
definitely.
talks a lot about that. So what why did you get sober? Okay, and what was the first step that you took? What was the action you took to get there?
Well, why I got sober is just like I felt like I was just my life had become too much. Like it become too much part of my life. I was spending too much money on it. I was gaining a lot of weight. If you remember, I used to be like a lot fucking heavier at one point because I
yeah,
was drinking like every fucking day. Right? It was just it wasn't healthy, and I knew it was gonna just end up a bad place health wise. I don't think I was a prick to anybody. That I hope I wasn't. Like, maybe I
no,
was.
not that I remember, but yeah,
No, exactly. Or people just like, so, oh, that's just Will being fucking a weird fuck like he always is. Like maybe they're just used to my bullshit. But anyway, I don't know. I just thought of like possibilities down there. I was like, what if like somebody who doesn't know me? What if I say something stupid and I think I'm being funny and then they fucking pop me in the face, something like that? Like, who the fuck knows? Like, I just don't want to ever have that kind of like thing. Like, I don't think it will happen, but you just never know. Like there's just lots of possibilities. And like, what if like I run into like severe fucking health problems, right? And then a lot of my friends were dropping from their vices and stuff too. So I'm like, man, what the fuck? What could happen to me? I mean, alcohol could do that shit to you too, right?
yeah,
And it's just
yeah.
there's a lot of things I thought about, and like, hey, like I'm approaching 40 this year. Like, you can't be fucking doing this kind of shit. And I don't know. I feel like I wanted my stage show to be a lot sharper. I felt like I was getting a bit sloppy as a performer too. That was another thing, and I just wanted to make sure I was putting on the best show I did. And people were coming up to me all the time saying like, "You've gotten a lot sharper, and like I can move around a lot more. I lost a shit ton of weight. Like I feel more spry." I guess I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's funny, because that actually one of my questions that translate into, like, so like how does being sober translate into your art and your performances? So you've sort of answered half that question already.
Definitely. I mean, I think it's just like I care more about what I'm doing, right, and how I'm coming across, and like what I'm putting out there for people because there's people who are actually fucking listening to what I'm doing and watching what I'm doing. Like, I want them to be fucking inspired by what something I'm doing rather than just like coming off as a negative force, possibly. You know what I mean? Because like
Yeah.
that shit can bleed into people.
No,
So what did
and
you do then? Like, what was your step? Then you just stop drinking? Like, you're just like, okay, I'm done. That was it. You just turn on the
I
switch and
literally
off?
had the worst fucking hangover I'd ever had. Like I was actually drinking on the island. And I came back. I was like, man, I can't do this shit anymore. I fucking can't. Like I'm not interested in this anymore. I can't fucking do this. So what I did is I started reaching out to buddies of mine who had beaten like their addictions as well, but like a lot heavier addictions than I had to other substances, right? So like, well, how the fuck did you do it, right? And they told me, and they started like talking to me every single day, just checking in, and not like hounding me, like, did you stop drinking? Did you stop? They're just like, oh, how's it going today, right? And then it just be kind of became a routine until I was able to just do it on my own. And I started filling my time with other things and just putting the pieces together. You know what I mean?
So no traditional forms of recovery, just
No, I don't like to call myself like in recovery, and there's no disrespect to that community. Like, not get that twisted. I don't feel like I recovered from something. I just feel like I just don't want to fucking do that shit anymore. That's just me though. I have nothing
right.
against people who do drink. Or Clausen and I were talking about this a little while ago. It's like I don't have a problem with anybody else drinking. I have a problem with me drinking, and that's kind of something that's stuck with me.
Right. And I was gonna ask you, Do you face, and so I guess you don't, I was just looking for one of the other questions. Like, so there's no real challenges you face then. You don't face any challenges then, really, when you're performing. You don't crave alcohol. You don't, there's no,
No, I mean, like I'm just so far removed from it. Like I can have alcohol in front of me and it doesn't phase me now because it's like it's that's just how it went for me. That might not go the same way for somebody else. I mean, I guess every so often, if I see somebody pouring shots, I'm like, man, like that looks good. It still looks good, but sometimes then the smell will hit me. I'm like, ooh, I know where that leads. I
right.
like it too much, so I had to stop.
And that's it. So you'll never, are you never gonna, that's it. You'll never drink again, huh?
I mean, like I have no interest in it. I have no interest in it. I mean, I could be around it, and not want to be like, I'm gonna do this. I'm fucking determined. Like, no, it's just it doesn't
See,
register to me.
this is great because this is honestly a perfect first guess because you have so many people like my recovery is really ugly. Like I've actually honestly had a recent relapse, but I don't even wouldn't like call it a full blown relapse. Like I used to like burn my life down. I slip a little bit and then I put the brakes on really quick and then I get figured out.
Mhm.
Ideally, I'd never want to drink again. But like, there's people that use AA. There's people that use all kinds of counseling. Like I'm battling my ADHD, but like for you, it's interesting because you're just like, no, I just stop and that's it.
Yeah,
That a lot of
but
people
what
can't even
was
do that.
and it wasn't easy to do that. Like like the first couple of weeks, I was an irritable son of a bitch on the inside. I wasn't projecting that onto anybody else. I just don't want to do that. But I was thinking like, fuck, like how is my whole life gonna go without drinking? Like for the first few weeks, yeah, that was fucking difficult. That was a bitch. But I knew I had to like go through it and just kind of fill my time with other things. I was working a lot of night shifts too, so that was helping keeping me away from the bar because I live really close to a bar. So that was a little interesting. Like it's literally on the fucking way home. And that used to
Hmm.
be a stop on my way home. So it was a little challenge, a little game to myself. Like, oh, see how many times, how much I can fucking like resist this. Because if I can fucking survive that, I can survive anything. That's how I feel.
Yeah, it's awesome. So like, yeah, it's not easy, right? Because like there's booze stores everywhere. Like it's like fucking
Yeah.
so accessible. Like crack and meth were easy to kick because I mean that's a bit that's hard to find sometimes.
Oh, fucking that stuff. I've never touched that stuff a day in my life. And I commend anybody who can fucking get themselves away from that because that's a whole other fucking beast within itself. I couldn't even fathom. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna
so
pretend.
yeah, I've done a lot. I've had addictions to a lot of different drugs, but alcohol was the hardest one to kick for sure. But
Interesting. I would have thought like, but then again, yeah. Who? What the fuck do I know? I only have one vice that I really kicked like that. That and smoking cigarettes, but that was a long time ago. That was another one that was tough to beat. But I mean, whatever, right?
so you don't, so you're all straight edge now.
No, I smoke weed still. Like I'm still with the
Okay,
weed. Yeah,
that doesn't
I've been with the
count.
weed. That's
Weed
just
doesn't
never fucking
count.
exactly right. California sober, right?
See, like that's where the recovery thing, um, like the in like that's that's why I say recovery because you're in you're that's an interesting word, but like people, it looks different. Like what complete abstinence or complete sobriety, recovery, like it looks different because there's a lot of people that are like, no, you can't smoke weed, but that's almost like harm reduction. Like there's a
Oh
lot of
yeah,
people that stop doing hard drugs, stop drinking, and just smoke dope.
yeah. Like people could take all sorts of different paths, and like what I was going to tell you to expand upon what you were saying earlier about like relapses and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Like, I always thought to myself like if ever I did slip up and have alcohol, it's you make sure you tell yourself like you're not bad. Like you gotta fucking always remember that. Like you're not a bad person. You didn't do anything bad. Like it's just like it happened. Fucking that's it. And then just move fuck forward. Like
Yeah, and
how many times you fall, how many times you get up.
it's not like one slip up ruins all that progress that you've
No,
made.
it doesn't define
It
you at
doesn't
all.
erase it all, right?
No, it's
no,
just a thing that happened in this world. Lots of things have happened. It doesn't mean that's who you are. It's just a thing that happened.
yeah, I mean, I battle ADHD. Like I'm very, my brain, like I'm very, like I've had a lot of childhood trauma. And honestly, that's not like me. It's fun. That term now is thrown around so much. Like everyone's like, I've got childhood trauma, blah blah blah. And I'm like, fucking take it. Like seriously, take my. I wish someone would take this. Go make a TikTok video about it. Like
Yeah.
it's not pleasant. It's not a pleasant thing. And then I've got ADHD coupled with that. So that as an adult man that's hard and alcohol sometimes like right now I'm trying medication for ADHD and it's a slow fucking
Mm.
go. right?
Oh,
They're
I
like, okay,
bet.
come back, try this, try that, do this. Gives you anxiety. Go to the liquor store, drink a couple shots of vodka or Fireball, and you're just like, oh,
Yeah, I know. It's like
okay.
instant relief. I know the exact one. And fuck,
But
I chased that for so long.
the problem is, then the bottle runs out.
Oh, I know. Does it ever?
Right? And then you're like, okay,
And
let's get
fast.
more. Then you wake up the next day, you feel hungover. Then you stop making your like when I'm on routine, when I'm on like up early in the morning, cold shower, hit the gym, nutrition, everything, reading, like I'm firing like a fucking machine. I'm crushing it. As soon as
Hmm.
I add alcohol to that in any way to try to medicate, fucking the flat tire, it's all done.
It's just distorted
Before my
fucking
life would
TV.
burn down. Before I'd be like, this was me before. I'd be like, okay, back like years ago, like when I was really young, and learning and getting into the journey of recovery, I'd be like, okay, I lost the job, I lost the girlfriend, I lost the money, I lost the house, I lost everything. I get it all back, right? I'm like, okay, I got the job back, got the girl, got this, got that, got the la da da da, everything's good. Okay, let's torch it.
Yeah, fucking, it can happen like that.
I
It can really
repeated
happen.
that cycle so much until I was just tapped out.
Yeah, and like that feels like a vice within itself, just the way you explain that. Like
Self
that also,
sabotage.
like that's another addiction to kick. Self-sabotage, right?
But with healing, like actual true fucking self-development and healing, and that's what possessed, like I was possessed, literally
Hmm.
fucking possessed to understand why this is happening. What the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Why do I? And then I came across like purpose. I was like, okay, my purpose. And now I have a job as an outreach worker. And
Hmm.
that is like beyond, like the purpose behind that is so fulfilling that now if I slip or something, I'm like, oh, I've got big time responsibilities. Like this has to end. Ultimately, I don't ever want to drink again.
Yeah.
I'm probably getting, but like I find your story interesting. Like because
Likewise.
you just switched it off, right? So I'm jealous, you fuck.
Nah, don't be jealous. My mom, rest her soul, she used to do that too. Like she would like pick up like the habits, like, oh, I'm drinking for a while. And then all of a sudden just shut it the fuck off. That's just what she would do. That's how she was like, I could
I
pick something
know,
up.
like Jamin, he can fucking be a bubbly, funny drunk, and then he's done. He's like, no, I'm done. I'm going to bed. That's it. I'm not gonna wake up the next day
Yeah.
and drink again.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
exactly. I was never really much of a morning drinker unless I was like on tour or something like that. I did shit like that. But no, I had like similar rules to Jamin. I remember in one episode we talked about, and I remember I was talking about this lots about how you wouldn't start drinking till after 7. Mine was more after like 4-ish, 5-ish, but I mean same shit.
Yeah.
You've had that rule that long, AJ?
Oh yeah. Like it because of some rough drinking nights, and like there was, a few rare occasions. I know that in Nanaimo, I probably had the rule, but we broke it that day because like, oh, well, I've got to be Mr. Mortar and you've got to be Vicious 5150 and we've got to
Yeah.
show up with drinks.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's the character.
yeah, yeah.
The fucking character.
Um, yeah, but otherwise it's been consistent. And that's another thing I wanted to ask you, like, do you find like the bar scene to be different now that you're sober? Like you're still doing a lot of shows in pubs, like around people drinking. Like, do you notice a change in
I
that?
mean, I do and I don't. Like on the social aspect, like I feel like I can be social on my own without it, right? Like, but that took me a while to adjust to too. But like, I knew I wasn't alone in that because I have like Clausen as well. She's been sober for a long time too,
Yeah.
Who,
and
sorry?
Jamie Clausen, part of Hazmat Crew.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so like we always roll together, do a lot of shows. So like, and we're both sober. We always just kind of make it a fun game. We just laugh about like, oh man, like remember how we used to get shithouse drunk and do this? We share the stories, but we're like we're glad we're not doing it anymore. But we look at it more from like a comical standpoint and like, oh man, like we used to stand in this fucking bar and just get shithoused. And it's like it's fun not to be able to do it. Now we're just gonna kill it at shows
Yeah.
and give something people like, especially people who are paying cover. I don't feel it's right to take their money and then give them a shitty performance and stuff like that. So like from an ethical standpoint, that's another reason why I'm not drinking.
Yeah. So I mean it's that different level of observation, right? Like even like when you're there, right? Um,
Yeah.
and even I guess like do you find I don't know, like sometimes shows are just sloppy, like everybody's drunk, but like other times
Mhm.
there's actually quite a sober element like within the crowd, like it might be a bar, but not everybody's drinking. Like do you find it to
No.
be more of a mixed crowd like that?
I find it's more of a mixed crowd. Like I'm finding a lot of people who just aren't having drinks.
Mm.
And then I was thinking back to like when I was drinking, I'd sometimes be the only one drinking in the room, like at any given setting, and I feel like a fucking weirdo thinking about it after. I'm like, man, like I had this whole big ass bottle of wine or something like that, and everybody's just chilling, like watching YouTube or something like that. And I'm like, fuck yeah, like what? There's no reason for that. It's just out of place and weird. But that's the kind of guy I am, I guess.
Yeah, I think the whole idea of I hear that too. Like, I've actually recently experienced a little bit of social anxiety. Like I'm never like just piggybacking off what you said there, like I'm one of those high powered personalities where I can show up and just like I'm good. Like I can talk to the girl, I
You
can
are.
talk to the person. I'm blessed like that.
Hmm.
But recently, sometimes I like even last night I went to a show a little late and I just kind of felt awkward, dead sober, standing there. People are drunk. I'm just kind of like, oh, like I'm trying to fit into the puzzle. I'm like, okay, should I be moshing? Should I be moving? Is like, are my
Yeah,
arms crossed? Like, should I just put my like, oh shit. I kind of sometimes that happens, right? And I
yeah.
think it takes practice to be comfortable doing that. Like, I mean,
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's a bit of a process. Like I think I have a similar personality to you in certain ways with the whole like high like I go in a room and be social. Then there's other times, yeah, same thing. I'm like, oh my God, like I don't want to talk to fucking anybody, right? Like maybe if I had a drink though, I'd be like, hey, blah, 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 fucking everybody, but like I don't want to
right?
do that. Yeah, like it's kind of fake. Not like from fake from my standpoint, but it's like I don't need to do that.
So what would be some advice you'd give anyone that's struggling right now? Like to tell them like, okay, well, like, what would you say? Like a little bit of advice to someone trying to be social without alcohol.
Yeah, that lag just made you sound so drunk there. But like,
Was there a lag?
what advice you
Did you
have?
hear the question?
Awesome. I heard the question. I just wanted to
Okay.
let this happen, and then your face wigged out, and then it fucking caught up, and it was all
Fucking
good.
Zoom.
Yeah, it zoomed into fucking focus. Haha. Anyways, I would say reach out to like friends of yours if you're gonna fucking like really kick it, because then you reach out to a friend of yours that you really fucking trust, that you know is gonna be like on you, like for the good of you, not like criticizing you, but like hey, like so how's it going today? Like checking in on you, you know, somebody that really cares about your progress, and like stick with them because like they're a very important piece of
Sounds like a
what you do.
sponsor. That sounds like
That's
what,
fun.
what you're
Yeah,
saying.
whatever you want to call it, whatever is like good for
But
you,
should
you
people
know.
hide out or should they like I mean obviously for the first little while of getting sober, I mean this is such a wide spectrum of recovery and sobriety. That's why we're doing this. Obviously, if someone kicks the drug, whatever substance they are kicking, if say for example alcohol, like maybe they should stay away from pubs and social settings where there's alcohol for like a month or whatever, or but like what? But I mean, what about getting out there? Like, what would we suggest to people? Like, what are some tricks? Like, just go for it, right? Like, just get out there and try to. Near beers are good. Maybe like
New Year's, I did that. I still do that. Actually, at Superstore, I fucking found my girlfriend found these fucking non-alcoholic whiskey colas, and they taste just like it. It's so fucking good.
but sugar's poison, man.
It is. I try to like maybe have one with dinner. That's another thing I've learned to not like knock back a whole fucking bunch. Like I don't drink those the
No,
way I
fair
drink
enough.
alcohol. Yeah, like with
I
the
don't.
I think that's what was getting me with the weight was because I like alcohol because it's so fucking good, right?
Yeah, I drink. What would be cool that one of my dreams would be to get uh sponsored by Liquid Death, carbonated water from the States. Like so that's one of, like I drink a lot of carbonated water. That's a huge one.
Yeah, yeah, no, that shit's good. But I
Even the
try to like,
Perrier, it's got a nice bite. I mean, it's just something to drink, right? I
yeah,
was trying the vape pen for a while, a long time ago,
I do that still.
but then I got hooked on nicotine, and I was like, holy shit! And that was actually quite difficult to quit.
I thought you meant weed.
No, 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 no.
No.
Weed makes me crazy. I can't smoke dope.
Yeah, no, fair enough. You know, some people it gets some people into that mode and other people it doesn't, right? Like
Yeah.
I don't think there's a one size fits all for everybody.
No,
Like
I definitely
that's why
am
I
one of
don't
those
judge people what
people
people do.
who says that weed's not for everybody. It works for some people, but it's
No.
not for everybody.
Like even some
If
people
I
can't do the near beers because it's too close to the real fucking thing.
Hmm.
Well, I'll tell you something, and I'm gonna throw, and I don't care because this is my fucking show.
Damn right.
It's our show. It's my brand, our brand. But I went out once with a bunch of people from AA once, like or AA. They were. I went to my AA meeting or whatever it was, and they all went out for dinner, and I was like, okay, okay, I'll be social, like I'll try to fit in and be cool. And they went to Boston Pizza, and they all sat down after a meeting, and they started ordering drinks and stuff. And I was like, oh, I'll have a near beer, like I'll have a O'Doul's. And they all fucking looked at me and were like, really, dude? Why don't you just
Oh,
start fucking cutting up some baking soda and snorting that? That's literally what
that
they fucking said to me. Yeah, dude. And I sit there and I was just like,
that's just rude.
and you wonder why, like, the recidivism rate of like AA is so fucking high. Like,
Well, yeah,
yeah,
when they're looking down their nose at you, it's like fuck you. Like you're going through the same thing. Like leave my fucking recovery journey alone. Like you do
yeah,
your
and
own
that's
fucking
not
shit.
all AA. Okay,
No,
I've been to some
certainly
AA
not.
meetings that are really cozy. Like,
Yeah.
and if you have, please, like, comment below. Like, help. Like, come on as a guest. Let's talk. Throw in your story. We want discourse. But like, that
Mm-hmm.
was my
Definitely.
experience. And I find
Definitely.
drinking near beers, 2 or 3 at the bar, is super fucking helpful.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Why not? Like that's I when I'm at the Wolf and shit like that, I'll buy one of those non-alcoholic Coronas and fucking Clausen and I end up buying all of them basically.
And once in a
Fucking
while, I'll
they're
snort
good.
a big fat line of baking soda just to feel part of the team, you
Why the
know?
fuck not? Why the fuck not?
All right.
It's how Martha Stewart would have wanted it, okay?
Fuck yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Bust out some of those baking soda lines, baby.
Damn right. Damn fucking right. Gotta do that. Snort baking soda.
That's
It's good for your
Jamin
recovery.
fucking pops up a cigarette, hey? Let him
Oh,
go.
hey,
We're
Somebody's
whatever.
we're
somebody's got
gonna
to do
try
it.
to get him to quit smoking at some point in this pod in this in the brand
Well,
development.
that's another fucking point I want to bring up, Garrett. The thing is, and I think you know this well, like it's a cliche, but it's true. Only you can fucking stop you from doing this shit. Like
Yeah.
Oh
only
yeah.
you
You can
can.
never rob a
Only
man
you
from his
can.
rock bottom, right?
Yeah, like people could have begged and pleaded for me to stop drinking, and it wouldn't have fucking worked until I fucking was like, I have to fucking do it
That is a
for
good
me.
point for sure. Like
Yeah, that's just how it works for a lot of people.
it won't work if the decision isn't to your own, like, yeah, at the
Exactly.
core, right?
And that's
Exactly.
why that's where the possessed part comes in with our brand. Like what and yeah, some people haven't found their reason why or their rock bottom enough times. Um, but I think once people find their possession of purpose, they
That
can
direction.
find the light and maybe the first steps in the right direction to fucking get the help they need or recover, right? Like
Yeah.
it's scary, man.
All
I work with some street entrenched people and that's it. They don't feel that there's hope for them. So
No, because like that's like when you only see like so far, like you only see like say if you live on like one little street corner and that's all you've ever seen your whole life, you're not
right.
gonna think anything beyond that, right? And
And
that's how
that's
when your brain chemistry changes from that shit,
and
like
that's
that will
enough.
fucking happen.
Exactly. And that's another thing. People have to remember that like muscle memory, neuroplasticity is fucking real. Like when you're
Hmm.
like anyone listening to this, if you're like having a bad day, and it's hard for me still too, but I've built neural pathways so the decision not to drink is far easier than it used to be. Like I can play the tapes
Hmm.
now and go, okay, well, that's no good. I don't want to go that way. So I'm gonna go this way. And
Yeah,
the more you go this way instead of that way to the liquor store, and more this way to the gym, this way
Yeah.
to the sponsor, this way to
yeah,
the happy land, you're gonna start building neural pathways legitimately. The circuitry is gonna change. That's fucking science, man. There's science behind this stuff
yeah.
that's
Ex
real.
exactly.
And
Well, Will, the way you
yeah,
were saying, making that conscious choice to walk past the bar on your
Oh
way
yeah.
home rather than
Exactly.
stopping
yeah.
in. And then you start programming yourself, and then it becomes
100%.
easy to just walk past, right?
Yeah, literally. Yeah, like I said, yeah, the bar is literally on the way fucking home, right? And like, I'm not gonna change my route like a bitch. I'm gonna fucking do it like this. I'm gonna do it. Like, that sounds like a challenge, and I'm down for it, right?
I used to
Yeah.
just spit at the liquor store. That's funny. That's great. Yeah, you're down for a challenge. Exactly. And now you're 4 years in, so those pathways are fucking they're dug in, bro.
Yeah,
Deep
yeah, yeah.
rooted.
Yeah, I was like, if I were to start drinking again, like, I don't know, like, who the fuck knows where my health would be? Who knows, right? Like, because you start to get to that age, like, I have friends that are younger than me by a considerable margin, and they got like cirrhosis of the fucking liver,
Oh,
and
dude.
I'm telling them, I'm like, dude, you need to stop fucking drinking, and they're like, oh yeah, then they'll hem and haw, but I'm like, you're going to die if you keep doing this shit. Like, your doctor is telling you, like, just, you know what
It's
I mean?
poison. like alcohol, drug abuse. Alcohol is just poison. It's just like it's heroin for the masses. It really is like that. It's like the government's like, yes, go to work 7 days a week in a job you don't like, and do this and pay all these bills. Oh, and here's your heroin. Here's your
Yeah,
escape for the week. Your
you
cultural
feel
fucking.
good.
We built this into the fucking hive mind. Go, you know what I mean? Like
Definitely,
it's
definitely.
Yeah.
it's embedded in our culture.
Well, that concept
Oh
that a
yeah,
beer tastes better after a long day's work, you know, like
it fucking
Does
does
it?
though. That's the thing. They're not wrong. Like I
yeah.
have
Well,
nothing
I'll tell
against it.
you.
I am 100% in support of this research. What I'm the worst fucking motivational speaker in the history of recovery.
Well, I'll tell
Never
you,
date to tell.
like being a super healthy dude that does 75 hard and eats well, and there's all these different things that I fucking try to do, and da 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 da. Like having a relapse and poisoning my body with alcohol, it's not worth it. Like the
No.
recovery, it's just dark. The days after are just they're dark. They're not pleasant. Like I
Hmm.
think someone like Jamin can dabble here and there,
That's
and
cool.
he's fine. How do you feel, Jamin, the next day? Do you feel off?
Uh, it like on weekends, if I find that I am like drank a bit too much, I'm like, oh, I am off the next day, you know, like,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and that's definitely if I end up in a social setting, you know, that runs late, and then it's like, oh shit, because of that, I ended up cracking another one and cracking another one, and
Yeah.
then I'll that's when I have a few too many. I do find that if I'm just working on projects and it's just me, or if I have just like one person over chatting, then it's always kept in a limit, you know. But
Yeah,
social
also you're
settings,
able to bring it, reel it in a little bit, wrangle that shit in.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
good.
where it's
Yeah.
just sort of like I don't need another. I'll just wrap it up, have a glass of water, make a snack, and call it,
Yeah.
you know.
That's smart.
So,
I am noticing the time here. It's five. We got 5 minutes left.
yeah,
First off, I just want to say like what this was better conversation than I thought it would be. This is rad. What a
Oh,
wicked
really now,
fucking
Garrett?
first. Pardon me. Pardon me.
Oh, really now, Garrett? Better than you thought?
Well, no, I just was
I'm
nervous.
funny.
No, I mean because like
Me
I thought
too,
I would
buddy.
fumble and fucking fuck it up. I wrote questions. I was like, oh God, we're having a real guest on, a real live person.
How can
uh,
you, sir, how can you be afraid about fumbling and fucking up? Your first episode was doing it ugly. Are you going to go back on that now? I paid attention. Did you?
Right?
uh-oh, he did his
It's just
research.
it's just really cool to have this conversation. It's really this is a
It
really
is.
I can just tell this is a great conversation. This is fun to do, and I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to having more guests on, having you back on when our platform's bigger.
Yeah, man.
Do you have
I
anything you
do.
want to pump, man? Like, do you have any shows coming up? Any records, music, anything? Any advice? Is there anything you want to say, bro?
Like I said, I got a
4 minutes here.
whole ass tour going on with Tyro James and Super Kawaii and my crew,
Oh yeah,
Hazmat
shout out
Crew.
to fucking Tyro and Oak.
Yeah, Oki, Orky, Tori, yeah, but shout out to all of Super Kawaii. Yeah, we got a whole ass tour. We're gonna be hitting fucking White Rock. We're gonna be hitting Surrey. We're gonna be hitting Roberts Creek, Fernie, Grand Forks, Portland, whole bunch of shit.
We'll
That's
make sure
awesome.
to put your
Yeah,
links and stuff in the
Yeah,
bottom
where can
to
people
your
find you, dude? Like,
socials.
what's
you
what's
got
up?
Vicious 5150 on everything, and also follow Hazmat Crew on everything. We are on all the fucking platforms. So Vicious 5150, Hazmat Crew. Follow me, follow us.
Yeah.
Fucking spread the fucking
You guys
virus.
are busy,
Get
busy,
addicted
busy,
to us.
busy.
Yeah, don't forget to
Business never
cross
ends
contaminate
for
too for
Hazmat.
us, right? Let's fucking and if you know
Yeah,
anyone
man.
that might be interested coming on, talking sobriety, talking recovery,
Fuck yeah.
And a
whatever,
final
man.
congrats to you. I mean, I've known you a long time, Will, and
Yeah.
yeah, just that's like your journey's been awesome. I
I'm
follow
glad to see that.
vicariously, and just kudos.
Likewise, I'm so fucking inspired by you guys. Like literally, we were like Lawson and I still talk about you all the time. In particular, it's like, oh man, like working with Jamin was fucking awesome. Like you were always really good. And I just wanted to say this to you on here before I forget. You were always really good at harnessing my fuckery in a right setting. You know what I mean? Like in the pointing it in the right direction, seeing more potential of it than I even saw at times.
Ah,
You
well,
know, and
so
I
much fun.
really appreciate you doing that.
So
That's
much
what he
fun.
does for me. I'm so blessed, dude. Like he is fucking Jamin has been paramount in this
Yeah.
putting the Zoom meetings together, shirt designs. Someone saw the website today. Like I wouldn't be able to do all this. We're 2 years ahead of the game because of Jamin. And it's and we're looking to build on this project and hire more team members and everything. But I agree with you, man. Fucking right.
He created the fucking hazmat crew logo. Does anybody know that?
The
That's the
H.
guy right
I
there. This
I
is
did
the
it.
guy. This
Yeah.
is the guy.
I do like seeing some of these designs still flying around. And
Yeah,
yeah,
man. That wasty can, the H, that's all this guy right here, Jamin
and
Shires, Mr.
and
Miller.
that's the sort of thing that keeps me possessed, you know, like working
Yeah,
with guys like you and projects like this. Like I love it. I
yeah.
love bringing out, you know, people's energy and talent and just yeah,
I'll jump at the chance
fucking
to work with you on fucking anything, man. You know that.
A. Garrett, you want to give us the final little shout outs here and
Yeah.
we'll close it off?
Well, thanks again, man. We'll have you back for sure. As we build, like,
So,
we'll definitely have you back down the road. And thank you for being our first guest. It's super fucking awesome, man. Stay possessed, slay today,
so.
keep the PMA, grind the fucking blade, stay metal.
Feel the possessed.